Hello, I am Natalie with Risk Managers, and in this video, we'll talk about reading your commercial property insurance policies. When you receive your policy, there may be over 100 pages. This includes definitions and details about endorsements or exclusions. You would read those if you want more clarification on coverages. But the primary information of your policy is found on the declarations page. We have a few examples of deck pages throughout this video, so that you can learn to recognize what yours might look like. Most commercial property policies are packaged with the general liability. To learn more about the general liability coverages, watch our other video about how to read your general liability policy. On your declarations or deck pages, you should always be able to find your name and address, your policy number, and term dates, up near the top. The main coverages for commercial property is the building and business personal property. You want building coverage if you own the building. The limit should be enough to rebuild the building if it completely burns down. The deductible is what you'll pay prior to the insurance paying for any claim. There are different levels of building coverage, meaning tiers of what causes of loss are covered. Special has the broadest form of covered causes of loss, while basic can be fire only. You can see the definitions of the covered losses in the policy forms. As a note, this policy shows the potential of different deductibles per cause of loss, but all deductibles here are $500. Property coverage can also be on a replacement cost or actual cash value basis. That means that the payout of a claim will be the cost to replace for replacement cost, or the depreciated value for actual cash value. If you do not own the building, then you won't want the coverage for the building, unless required by your lease agreement. But you do want coverage for your business personal property. This would be the contents for your business: computers, desks, and inventory, if applicable. These items don't leave the property. Materials and tools and equipment that do leave the property would go under inland marine coverage, which we'll talk about a little later. Business personal property has some of the same levels as a building. It can be valued at replacement cost and on a special level of causes of loss. Other property coverages to consider are the money and securities for on and off premises. This is coverage for things like collected payments. Outdoor sign coverage for your signs. If you have other structures like a shed or awning, you'll want to list those as additional buildings. Ordinance or law coverage is to cover the gap for compliance to updated building codes in the case of needing to rebuild. Other endorsements you may want are water backup, service line, and equipment breakdown. Now on to inland marine coverage. The name of the coverage originally comes from the practice of transporting cargo on rivers, but it basically just means mobile equipment. Coverage for small tools and equipment that are under $1,000 in value can be covered under an unscheduled tools and equipment coverage. Items with higher value will need to be scheduled. Contractors that have materials they transport and install at a job site will want to consider installation coverage. This is coverage for the materials and can include theft if the property coverage is on a special form for covered causes of loss. You will generally want the limit to be enough for any given time, not necessarily just one job site. Here is an example of a policy with only inland marine coverage. This policy has coverage for employee tools and equipment rented from others. Depending on your operations, these may be things you want included. Another valuation type is shown here, indicated on equipment schedule. It can also show as agreed value, meaning that the payout for the scheduled item will be based on the value listed on the schedule. Here is the equipment schedule. This company only has the one tractor, but larger operations may have several other items scheduled. Each scheduled item should include the year, make, model, and serial number, as well as the value of the item. Scheduled equipment is not just for contractors. For a retail operation, a forklift, even though it may not leave the premise, will need to be scheduled. Technology like an expensive laptop that is taken off premise would need to be listed. If you aren't sure if something needs to be scheduled, talk to your agent. Every carrier handles things a little differently, so you may just need to increase your business personal property limit. That's everything for right now. Check out our other videos to learn how to read other types of policies, and feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions. Have a great day, and be safe.